If you've read webtoons, you've probably heard about or read Solo Leveling. Effectively as the flagship for the webtoon market, it laid the groundwork for many following works in the medium and resulted in significant increase in traffic. Unsurprisingly, after its immense success came more than a baker's dozen of rip-offs. I'm going to read them and try to rank them. First things first, Solo Leveling would get a nice and solid C tier on story alone, as its plot is undoubtedly generic along with its mediocre, one-dimensional character development, but the artwork somehow manages to carry it to an A tier, after developing L4, L5 disc herniation from carrying the entire franchise on its back. Maybe a separate video on that later. Let's get into the rip-offs. Solo Glitch Player. Exposition, 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 man dies playing video game and somehow reincarnates into said video game, more exposition, exposition, fast equals funny, generic creepy villain being a villain for the sake of making the creepy main character look better. The story's unoriginal but not terrible, C tier. Then the author and artist change multiple times and it becomes literally unreadable. Yo. I could draw this in paint, hold on. Second life ranker. Stat points like Solo Leveling, edgy main character that happens to always beat everyone and knows where everything is and what's going to happen. B- tier. The player that can't level up. Gates, monsters, players equals rich, main character not player suddenly becomes player, happens to be really good at his job. The horse has been beaten so much that it's practically minced. Surprisingly, the story actually does improve over time. C tier. Kill the hero. More gates, monsters, players, money returning to the past and whatnot. Surprisingly, despite having the most generic setting and lacking the fantastic artwork of Solo Leveling, this webtoon manages to create a somewhat interesting storyline by really just good execution. Solid B tier. Level up with the gods. Man and all of the mythological gods of humanity like Hercules and Kronos lose to the fight against the so-called outer gods, so the main character travels back in time to set things straight. Actually kind of an interesting setting and premise with okay artwork. A- tier. The frozen player returns. Man fights monster, kills monster, gets frozen mid-dab, wakes up 25 years later in a museum. More gates, more players, etc, etc. Takes a decent shot at the genre. B tier. Max level returner. Main character that looks like a home brand Power Ranger villain. Beats waves on waves of new enemies like it's Age of War. D tier. Solo max level newbie. A game that no one plays comes to real life and the main character happens to be the only one who has beaten it. He uses his Sherlock Holmes level memory to beat monsters and find items to claim for himself. A no-nonsense main character, good art, appealing characters and some trashy fun. B tier. Solo auto-hunting. Main character just gradually becomes One Punch Man, but unironically, I also feel catfished. Solo spellcaster. Han Solo. The lone necromancer. It's a guy who raises skeletons of things he's killed. Stories about the same quality as Solo Leveling, but maybe not so much the art. C tier. Leveling up alone. George Washington once said, "The best and only safe road to honour, glory and true dignity is justice." This ties in beautifully with Socrates. To recommend this webtoon would be to betray the fundamental principles of virtue, justice and one's own humanity.